Welcome to Dream Body Alchemy, the podcast that fearlessly explores empowering transformations by unlocking the dormant vitality within your DNA, reshaping your mindset and unveiling your true essence, propelling you towards profound healing and expansion. Join your host, Melissa Valentine, as you embark on this journey to rewrite your story, one of activation, body alchemy, and the unapologetic embodiment of your boldest self.
Going from self-doubt to divine embodiment. How to fall in love with yourself, your body, right now, today. I'm going to give you 5 steps that I use with my clients that I feel are so important to get to that place of divine embodiment, to leave the realm of self-doubt, self-distrust, and truly love yourself. I have so many clients that they come to me and they're doing all the right things. They're eating healthy, they're moving their body, they're meditating, they're doing energy work, they're doing all the things, but there's still a disconnect. They're disconnected from their physical body. They know the right stuff, but they don't feel like that version quite yet. There's some kind of disconnect. It's like they're playing the character, but they are not the character. And so I want to talk about the struggles that we can have and how we're going to overcome them and give you a new perspective, changing the way you think. We are now getting to the place where you can now make this shift on a deeper level and completely change the way you move through life so that you always feel that self-trust, that self-love. The first thing is your divine gifts. And I find that this is so important because there's been so many times on my journey where I've been told, you need to do it this way. And I felt this inner resistance. And I realized that my gifts are my gifts for a reason, because they are exactly what I need and exactly what you need to achieve all the things you came here to achieve. And when you are so confident in who you are and your gifts and what you bring to the table, you have that inner trust. You start to love yourself because you know exactly who you are and you know you don't need to be anyone different. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaches to help me create my business, to help me feel more embodied. I've been on this personal growth journey, and I realized that they would always have us make this list of gifts and character traits that we would want to embody as our highest self. And they would just be random things that we saw in other people that we wanted to possess. I thought, oh, this is really cool. I think this person's really great, and these are the character traits that they possess. Now I'm going to embody them. And that they would just be affirmations that you would go over every single day. And I realized that that is not the best way to do it. It's actually incorrect. The best thing that you can do is understand your divine gifts that were placed within you from the time you were born and cultivate those and lean on those. And have so much trust in those because that's who you are. You don't need to become someone. You need to unbecome the labels and the things that you think you need to be. Because your best friends or your coaches, they have their own gifts, but you don't need to embody their gifts. That's only going to make you untrust yourself. It's only going to make you doubt yourself that, oh, these are the things I should be, but I'm not. I need to learn to cultivate these things that I'm not. But guess what? I have a divine gift where I can help people step into their highest potential, whether it is spiritually, health-wise, inspiration, alignment. I can help people embody their highest potential. That's one of my gifts. I also have a gift where I just know if things are going to be successful or not. It's a knowing. There's no logic to it. It's not something that comes from the mind. It's just a knowing. So it drops into my crown and it gets filtered through my heart. And that gift is not even necessarily for me, but I've also noticed it in my life that when I knew something was going to work or wasn't going to work, it tended to go that way. And also, not only did it tend to go that way, what I knew would be successful was also what was in alignment for me. It was the most effortless. And so I can also help people tap into that. I can see what is going to be successful and what is not. And because I also have a really strong spleen, which is where my gift of intuition, instinct, well-being, all the things that I do as a living, people who enter my world get to tap into that gift. And it's very magical. There's a synergy that happens where our energies come together and they expand exponentially. What I'm saying is, you have divine gifts. And I actually have a list. I always keep my list because there was times when I was told to write down anything, and then I realized, wait, I have my own divine gifts. And I created mine from human design, but I get to go back and go, okay, where am I using these gifts in my job? Where am I using these gifts in my relationships and leaning on them and not feeling bad and not putting myself down or feeling unworthy because I don't have the same gifts as other people. And I can look at people's charts and their blueprints and their coding and see their gifts expressed every single day. And the really interesting thing about gifts is sometimes they come so natural to us that we don't realize that they're gifts. We just think this is something everyone does, or this gift isn't valuable. But I can promise you, every gift that you have that's innate in you was placed there intentionally for you to create the life you're meant to create. So when it comes to health, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to prosperity, your career, your calling, all the gifts you need are in you right now. And that is a reason that you should love yourself and not doubt yourself, because you don't need your best friend's gifts. You don't need your coach's gifts. You need to understand your gifts and be so steadfast in those and love yourself, because you are being exactly who you're meant to be. And you don't need to become anything else. You just need to unbecome the labels and the pressure from the outside world. If you ever want help with that, that's something I do in my one-on-one program. Number 2, and this kind of goes off of the divine gifts, is walk into every room like God sent you. Your gifts, your geniuses, your essence, your brand, the people who are meant to be attracted to you, the people you're meant to help, the more you are, who God made you to be, who Source made you to be, universe, your higher mind, the more you are, you can put that on as a shield and walk into every room and go, God sent me, because she did. She sent you to do exactly what you're meant to do, and you have all the capability and all the resources to do so. And you don't have to doubt that anymore. All of this is uniquely coded into your DNA. And when you see it all written out, it's so much easier to have that self-trust. Because self-trust means you are trusting in God's plan, Source's plan, the universe's plan, whatever you believe. Because distrust and doubt means you have an innate distrust that there is no divine timing. And there is. You have a purpose. We all have a very distinct purpose. And so once you trust your purpose, and again, it's not going to be someone else's, it's going to be innately in you. And if you can see that written out, which that's what helped me the most. You know, I went through and I felt like, I feel like I'm making all these mistakes, and I started to distrust myself. And it took a toll on my body, and it took a toll on my health. I feel like there's something more, but I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. I had that doubt. And so there was a part of me that was playing small. Once I saw it written out, it was confirmation. It didn't tell me anything I didn't know. It was like a remembering, like, oh yeah, this is so true. This is so on point. And I've seen this over and over and over and over again. It's not a fluke. Number 3, the more you're in flow, the more you're going to love yourself, the more trust you're going to have. So the more you can get in flow, you will see things unfold. Time does not even matter. So I'd love for you just to take a moment, and this can also help you understand your gifts and your direction. If you can just take a moment, you can keep your eyes open, you can keep them closed, or you can just think back. When was I in flow? When are the times where I'm in most flow? When I'm not noticing the time, when I'm not stressing, when I'm not in my head, and things are just happening naturally for me. For me, it's when I'm talking with clients. I'm just in flow. And I can look back again, going back to my divine gifts, and I can see all the things that I divinely have gifted within me that come out without effort. It's a naturalness. If I talk about human design, I am a 6-2, and so 2 is all about the natural, or the hermit. I'm also a hermit. It's all about naturals, having these gifts that just come out that you can't necessarily teach. They just happen. You're just in flow when they happen. It's also called the dancer. Some of you might know that I do love to dance, and I taught dance for a while, but that wasn't really my gift. My gift was the natural dancing, where it just comes out, where I'm just feeling the music, where I can jump on the treadmill. I go backwards and I can't think. I just allow the music to move through me. And I just feel it. It's like I'm tapping into this energy. Some people might have heard of light language. It's kind of like that. It's like the universe has a language, and it's not English. It's energy. And I just move. And if I were to stop to think about it, I would go flying off the treadmill. So it's about that naturalness. Think about the times when you are in flow. And that's when your natural gifts, your natural essence, your alignment is activated, and you will feel the most in love with yourself. And you can translate this in the way that you eat, the way that you move, the things you spend your time doing, finding those moments of flow. Number 4, you want to find a soul-aligned rituals and routines. So to love yourself, to give yourself trust, is trusting that you have the time, that you are worth the energy to focus on yourself and take care of yourself. And I always say one of my favorite ways to have self-care, and it's a very feminine way, is to give myself a lot of time. I love having slow mornings. So anyone that knows me, I like to get up and have nothing specific to do. Maybe have some coffee, maybe I'll meditate, maybe I'll journal, maybe I'll do some contemplation, maybe I'll do some studying, but I allow myself the space and the non-judgment. I've done this in the past where I've given people a routine of like a checklist, but I've pulled away from that because I don't want you to have a checklist, because a checklist is another to do. And I want you to focus on being. So what would feel the best in that moment? And you can have things to choose from, testing things out. It can be different every day. But you don't want meditation, you don't want journaling, you don't want these things to be a to-do. You want to be able to get into a place where you can just be. That might be something like painting your nails. It might be doing a facial. It might just be having a slow morning. The self-care is really what is going to make you feel luxurious? What is going to make you feel cared for? What is going to make you feel more feminine? What is going to allow you to slow down? Part of my self-care routine is going slow. I carry that into the way I walk, the way I move, being very present and embodied in my body. So if you want to move from self-doubt to divine embodiment and truly love yourself, you want to get in the body. Embodiment means you have to be in your body, present, not trying to get out of the body, not trying to rush from thing to thing, but allowing yourself to breathe. Even if you take the moment right now, how are you breathing? Where's the tension? I have little reminders on my phone every 3 hours at 6 o'clock, noon, 3, 6, 9, just to breathe. And I can either breathe, I can bring more presence to the moment, I can meditate if I'm in a position to do so. Again, self-care ritual. A lot of it is slowing down and just taking care of yourself. And that is going to be different for everyone. Another thing that I would say about self-care that I've possibly mentioned in the past is there's something called radiance in the gene keys. If you're familiar with the gene keys, again, this is another tool that I use when helping people create this aligned body awakening, their dream body. And radiance is this really interesting code gene in the body that expresses how you are going to feel your most vital, your most radiant, and really is your aura and what you express, what people see your essence as. And mine is all about transmutation and alchemy, of the past, but also cleaning. So for me, it's about minimalism. It's about removing the clutter, anything from the past that is not serving me. So for me, a lot of times self-care is cleaning out my closet, getting rid of old clothes, getting rid of things that don't express my taste and who I am. Because for me, understanding my blueprint, knowing that taste is my strongest sense, not taste as in what I taste necessarily, but my taste, the way I decorate my home, the way I dress, not necessarily dressing based off trends, but just what feels most like me. And being able to go through my house and release anything that holds old negative energy or does not express who I am. That is an interesting way to have self-care. Radiance can be beauty for you. And just how can you make your life more beautiful? Radiance could be being as strong as possible. Radiance for you could be patience. So understanding there's different ways you can go about this. And if you're in learning more about really embodying the divine and having self-love and love for your body and creating your dream body and your dream life where everything flows and you have this effortlessness and you feel so aligned, so authentic and embodied, you can get a link down below to work with me one-on-one. It is very intimate. We have one-on-one calls where we, one, create your strategy for your dream body aligned with your energy, where we release any unresolved negative emotions so you are a clear slate. So you're moving from a lightness, where we transmute and alchemize any of those limiting beliefs and blocks that are keeping you back from success, and then giving you your blueprint so you can understand how your gifts, your genius, your prosperity path, creating wealth in your life, how you can have that with simplicity and flow and grace and just be totally aligned in your whole life. The link is below if you're interested. Number 5 is understanding the difference between conditioning and your true nature. I think about this in a way where your true nature is self-love. Your true nature is worthiness, enoughness. Your true nature is joy, excitement, passion. This is your true nature. Your true nature is living each moment in your greatest joy, living your gifts, your geniuses. And the conditioning is all the things that society says you should be. Conditioning is all the limiting beliefs that are saying you're not enough, that you need to prove something. Conditioning is what we're here to release. So it's not about becoming your best version. It's not about efforting. It's not about doing more. It's about peeling back the layers and getting back to who you are at your core. Because at your core, you are already love. You already love your body. You are already divine at your core, your true nature. And so everything that is pulling you from who you truly are at your core, who you are coded to be when you came into this world versus the conditioning. This is going to be so pivotal because it's not this lifelong decade after decade of thinking your way. I'm thinking about loving myself. I'm affirming the love I have for myself. I am doing to prove the love of myself. I am hustling and going into the resistance so that I can show that I love myself. This is all more forms of abandonment. It's abandonment of yourself because your true self is already there. You want to be able to recognize the differences and understand how much easier it is. Now, I'm not saying if you are struggling that there's anything wrong with you. It's that we've been so conditioned, and sometimes it's really hard to see what is conditioning and what is truly us. And so if you are working on loving yourself and your body, that means there's some kind of conditioning there that is keeping you separate from the love. And so once you can understand and separate who you truly are from the conditioning, and then you can embody who you truly are, that is the key. If you're watching on YouTube, it would help me so much if you liked this episode and subscribed. Definitely leave me any comments if you have any questions, because every Friday I will be on my Instagram, Dream Body Alchemist. My podcast and YouTube are both Dream Body Alchemy, but on Instagram it's Dream Body Alchemist every Friday at 12 Central Standard Time. I'm going to go on there and answer questions. You can join me live if you have some questions. If you are listening on Dream Body Alchemy, the podcast, please, if you are feeling called, it would help me so much if you could leave me a review. I would love a 5-star review if you are enjoying this information and you want to hear more. And if you do, take a picture of it and send it to me on Instagram in the DMs. So go ahead and give me a follow there and I will have a free gift for you. But number one, I want you to realize there is no perfect routine out there. I want you to realize the perfect routine for anything is personalized to you and it's in your coding. There's a perfect routine that's going to make you feel more like you. The more you will be able to love yourself, because there won't be the dissociation between who I want to be and who I am. They become one. You can maintain consistency and you don't have to worry so much about the hustle and pushing yourself so hard, if that's a big part of your self-love journey, and being too lenient and being lazy, that there's a natural harmony within you, that once you start to get in alignment with who you truly are, it becomes easier and easier. But if you're very out of alignment and you're not, again, out of alignment, not acting from a place of authenticity, you're doubting yourself and you're acting in a way that does not align with your true nature, you're feeling a lot of stress and resistance, it'll take a little bit of time to get back into that place of alignment where you can truly trust yourself. So there could be a little bit of time where you need to rebuild that trust with yourself. And the other thing that I want to mention is, I know a lot of times we fear wasting time, but I want you to know that every step that you're taking is going to contribute to your growth, that's contributing to who you are meant to be. And just to leave you with the knowing that it's always about the process. It's not about the result. It's about who you're becoming in the process, how much you're loving the process. It's this moment right here, right now, that is actually important. It's not the result of self-love and alignment and embodiment so much as it's the process. It's the process of loving each moment, of becoming in alignment, of trusting yourself. It's the process that gives us the fulfillment. And in that fulfillment is what is going to increase our frequency. It's the fulfillment that increases our vibe, that allows us to become more authentic and unlocks the vibration of love. So every day, if you want, you can take a couple steps. I would say, 1, start some daily self-reflection and journaling so you can get your ideas about what feels in alignment. Start tapping into your intuition. Start affirming who you are, what your gifts are, understanding that God created you, Source created you, and so there are no mistakes, and that you are worthy of love and your body is worthy of love as is right now. You don't have to do anything to prove it. Number 3, how can you get more into flow? Flow is a signal that you are in alignment. Whether you're using your gifts, whether you're following your joy, flow is a signal. Making sure that you're creating a soul-aligned routine so every day you can show yourself the act of love, whether it's slowing down, whether it is giving yourself more time and space, whether it is doing your nails, whether it's cleaning your closets, how you work out, how you eat, your radiance. There's so many different ways, but really sit back and cultivate a soul-aligned self-care routine. Number 5, start to be curious about what is your true nature and what is the conditioning. Number 2, you don't have to have like a specific morning and nighttime routine, but definitely start to cultivate something that feels in alignment with you that maybe you're not doing currently. And number 3, have self-compassion. Give yourself grace, and most importantly, be patient on this journey. Patience is one of the most important values and characteristics that we can all embody. For me, I know that is one of my main themes in my life is patience. That is something that most of us are working on, and you have to have patience to cultivate patience. I love that. If you want to work with me, I'll leave the link below. Otherwise, definitely join me on Instagram, Dream Body Alchemist, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next week. Bye guys, love you.